This is sort of a two-part question. Among the more controversial issues in recent years has been the allowance of wind turbines in Garrett County. Now that the first turbines are here, will you support additional wind projects in the county? And do you plan to pursue any kind of protections or regulations involving such projects that currently do not exist?
Well, I guess this is a pretty baited question for me. Of course, everybody knows that I'm not against wind turbines per se. I'm against the regulatory processes that have occurred here in Garrett County. Kill that mic. Turn the switch on. I'm against the regulatory processes that occurred here in Garrett County. We had the first company come in and immediately violate federal and state laws. I was able to go out as a regular citizen, take a look at what was going on, report it, and shut these guys down just because they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. They weren't good corporate citizens. I think what we need to do is look at this as a whole for our county. Do we want to tear up all the mountains here in Garrett County? Now that everybody can take a look from 219 and see where it's at, you can drive across Glendale Bridge and see where it's at. Do you want to see this everywhere? It's getting ready to move down to 4 Mile Ridge and Elbow Mountain and Finsville area. If this is what you want to see, it is coming. I'd like to continue to work, as I have as a citizen, to slow this down, get it to where it's proper and is regulated the way it should be. Thank you.
Thank you. The same question for Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, this is an issue that's close to my heart. I can now look out my backyard and I can see 11 turbines and all are in park. So it does disturb me the way they came into the county. I think it's been totally irresponsible to have an industry that's allowed to come in and establish itself here without absolutely no control. I would work with the local delegation downstate to begin to try to get some decommissioning guidelines, some setback requirements. But we have to take into consideration our stock and trade here is natural resource and beauty, and that's what people come here for. So I think we have to ask ourselves, you know, do we want to see hundreds and hundreds more of these take up our ridge tops? There are more regulations already on Marcellus shale than there are on wind turbines. I think we're sitting ducks if we do not do something. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Welch, same question.
Is that on? Okay. I believe in property rights. Like back up. George, you're killing me. I'm killing you. I'm going to kill you. All right.
Little does he know.
All right. Okay. Rewind. Okay, I'm a property rights advocate, but I don't believe any gigantic mechanical structure should overshadow a dwelling. Okay, there were many mistakes made in the run-up to this. A huge number of them were by local officials, just simply not having a clue. Okay. I would definitely have new regulations. Next.
Thank you. Mr. Gatto, the same question.
As far as wind turbines, the whole process that we went through to how they got here, that was just all wrong. It was all mishandled. It wasn't informative. It was done in a way that nobody's really benefiting. I know we're getting a little bit of money here from people working here and short-term jobs and things like that that's benefiting us. But I disagree with the whole process. It's taking away from the beauty of our county, and that's why people want to come to Garrett County, because of that beauty. We do need to hold these people accountable and make sure that they have our best interest in whatever facility, even outside wind turbines, come into our county. So we just got to make sure. We do need some regulation to control what's going on in our county. We don't want to be, like Reagan said, sitting ducks for people that only have one motive in mind, and that is for their self-motive. So again, not necessarily the wind turbines. They're proven that they're not efficient in Garrett County, and that's why they're here, is because, again, we are kind of like sitting ducks.
Thank you. Mr. Falter, the same question.
On? Okay. The underlying question here is the rules and regulations that I hear. And that leads me to believe that this could lead to countywide zoning. And I am absolutely, unequivocally opposed to countywide zoning because it is one of the most insidious policies ever foisted on the public. I have lived under zoning. It's another layer of rules and regulations piled on top of others already in place that concentrates power in the hands of a few wealthy people, allowing them to tell the people who live in the county what they can or cannot do with their homes and land. It pits neighbor against neighbor. It seems to me with the rules, regulations, health laws, whatever you want to say, already in place, we can and usually do handle problems that occur. I firmly believe that the people in the county are smart enough to resolve their own differences.